Welcome back to this video series, 7 Steps to a Vital Slender You. I'm so glad that you came back for video 3. In video 1, I taught about why the vast majority of weight loss approaches don't work, and it's not your fault. And it's really important to understand that because you can get too discouraged and give up if you don't understand why your efforts keep failing. Like, why is this one going to be different, right? In video 2, I taught about the one big mistake almost everyone's making when they try to lose weight and why you must absolutely avoid making that mistake. And also in video 2, I taught about the first 2 steps of transformative eating, and I'm going to teach you the rest of that today. See, I discovered there are 7 steps to being completely successful getting to your slender, right-sized body, even if you're a woman over 50 or 60 like me. And for me, I really hoped not only would I release excess weight, but I would regain some youthful health and vitality. And boy, did I. The chronic pain and inflammation I experienced for decades just vanished. I sleep like a baby most nights after having many, many years of insomnia that I just couldn't figure out how to change. And my energy levels are so much better, and I'm walking like a young woman again. Rather than taking more and more medications as I age, now I've been able to stop almost all my medications and supplements. And my clients and thousands of other people switching to this way of eating are having similar results. They're going off statins and diabetes medications. They're reversing heart disease. They're getting back to activities that they haven't been able to enjoy in years. It does involve changing your eating in some very specific ways, but it's a very enjoyable way to eat, and it's a lot easier than most people think. And by the way, you may notice I'm in a different location for this video. I'm currently staying in Oaxaca, Mexico, which is an absolutely beautiful and culturally rich place. This morning I hear people singing next door. I think it's probably a church. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I feel so fortunate to be here. Now, are you ready to learn more about the 7 parts of transformative eating? I want to tell you all 7 pieces because when you put these pieces together and you make healthy eating a happy habit, you can finally get slender in a healthy and sustainable way and regain great health and vitality. In video 2, I talked about the first 2 parts. The first is that you need to eat abundant, nutritious foods, especially fruits and vegetables. And we sort of know this, but we're not doing it enough, even though we know it. We're really not eating enough of the nutritious, life-giving foods for our bodies to get cleaned out and to feel really healthy. And second, you want to avoid the cravingful, highly processed, non-nutritious food-like substances that our food system is so full of, so that you can stop having the ill effects of those food-like substances, which include excess weight, the kind of excess weight that our body strives to sustain, and you can also avoid cravings. So those are the first 2 parts. Eat a lot more of the highly nutritious foods, a lot more than you think, and avoid the non-nutritious food-like substances. And the third part of transformative eating is it makes a surprisingly big difference to eat on a sensible, slenderful schedule. For most of us, that means 3 meals and no snacks. So I didn't really know this. In fact, I was very confused on this point, but our bodies need a break from eating between meals. And to tell you the truth, 50 years ago, everyone knew this was a good idea, that you shouldn't be snacking between meals. But now, almost everyone believes you need to be snacking between meals. These days, everyone's snacking on and off all day. And it's a big part of the reason our insulin systems are getting really messed up, and that's causing us to have a higher weight set point that our body strives to maintain. But when you implement a sensible eating schedule like 3 meals and no snacks, it allows your insulin to fluctuate up and down during the day like hormones are supposed to. And that helps keep your body healthy. And when your insulin system is functioning well, fat flows out of the system like it's supposed to, rather than getting stored. Your body is storing excess fat when your insulin system is not functioning well. So getting into this kind of rhythm of eating 3 times a day with no snacks, that really resets your hormone systems, and it makes it possible to release excess fat and maintain a healthy weight. Another great thing about eating on a schedule like this is it really helps support good eating habits. You're a lot less likely to fall back into emotional eating and snacking on non-nutritious food-like substances when you get in the habit of eating 3 meals a day and no snacks. And the 4th principle of transformative eating has to do with quantities. So we know that trying to manage calories in and calories out is not the way to get healthy, sustainable weight loss. but the quantities we eat do matter. So as I was exploring what works for eating and health and weight, I discovered some very specific quantities that work for weight loss and a very effective approach for adding food once you reach your goal weight. Just going back to eating the old way does not work. So the quantities really matter. Getting clear about the quantities of different types of food to eat made all the difference for me for finally releasing the rest of my excess weight. The first 4 principles of transformative eating are to eat plentiful, nutritious foods, a lot more than most people think and a lot more than most people are, to avoid cravingful, highly processed, non-nutritious food-like substances that really our body doesn't respond well to eat on a sensible, slenderful schedule like 3 meals a day and no snacks, and to eat the right quantities for your goal, whether your goal is weight loss or maintaining your goal weight. So it sounds pretty simple, right? And in a lot of ways, it really is. My clients often tell me, this is a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. But I noticed that even though most people feel like we know these principles, we know we should eat more of the highly nutritious foods, and we know we should avoid those other things. We kind of know these principles at some level. What I found is I wasn't, and most people are not, implementing these principles enough to achieve the desired results. So we have to change our eating enough, and we have to sustain this transformative way of eating long term to get the desired results. And the last 3 parts of transformative eating get at that. So it's addressing all 7 parts that makes transformative eating successful. So let me tell you the 5th part, and that is mindset. This is really important. Our minds can really help us achieve desired changes, but the default setting in our mind is to maintain the status quo. And I'm pretty sure you've had some of these experiences of these mindsets that can really derail your best efforts to achieve important changes in your life. So one is the mindset of what the hell. And I wonder if you know this one. It might crop up when you decide that since you've already had something off plan today, you might as well eat and drink everything that's tempting you and get back to it tomorrow. And this what the hell effect, it feels kind of crazy when you find yourself doing it, but it's an effect that's very common and it's been studied quite a bit. It's something human beings do. It's something our brains do to maintain the status quo. And there's the limiting belief that it's too hard or it should be easier than this. That belief can crop up anytime we're trying to do something that can really change our lives for the better. For example, I know how much better I feel when I exercise regularly. Exercise is important for health, and it just contributes to a better life all around. But once I lose the habit of regular exercise, I can have this feeling, this mindset that it's too hard to get started, or I need to wait for the perfect time. I call that one the later mindset. It's just not the right time. Do you know that one? And again, that's a mindset that maintains the status quo and keeps us from moving our lives decisively forward like we want to. So it really helps to work on building mindsets that support transformative eating. So we can really see it's pretty simple and very enjoyable to eat this way in spite of these initial worries that crop up, that maybe we shouldn't do this, maybe it's not the right time, maybe we can't, etc. So working on our mindset is important. And the 6th out of the 7 principles, the 6th part or step to transformative eating is lifestyle. There are some lifestyle changes that make a huge difference for supporting transformative eating. And you know, if you watched video 1, our environment has changed in recent decades to the point that we are surrounded by food choices that are unhealthy for us, that are causing the majority of the people in our society to be overweight and experiencing ill health, especially heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And these are serious, life-threatening diseases. And before they cause an early death, they cause more and more decline in functioning and quality of life. And if we allow ourselves to fall into the default way of eating that's around us all the time, we're likely to experience those same issues of excess weight and declining health like the majority of our society is now. So for transformative eating, we make some specific lifestyle changes. It means planning ahead rather than going along with the default way of eating that's all around us. For example, it means making sure you have enough of the highly nutritious foods in your house and eat far more of the nutritious, life-giving foods than you have been eating and far more than other people around you are eating. And it means getting the highly processed, non-nutritious food-like substances out of the house. You know, we may have found those very enjoyable, but as we learn that they are not benign, that they are harming our health in major ways, we want to get them out of our environment so we're not constantly tempted, because that's stressful and painful, and who needs that stress? Some lifestyle changes some of us make include looking up the menu before going to a restaurant. So you're making your choice before you get to a restaurant and you're hungry and everyone around you is ordering things that you don't really want to eat on your plan. These kind of lifestyle changes really support you making good choices. Or another one I do a lot is I'll get an Airbnb when I travel rather than a hotel, so I can make sure I can cook some of my meals. Because if I have to eat 3 meals a day on vacation out in a restaurant, I'm going to be more exposed constantly to the default unhealthy eating mode. Does that make sense? And the 7th part of transformative eating is to make it a priority in your life. And we know this. Most of my clients tell me eating this way is a lot easier than they thought it was going to be. And they feel the health benefits very quickly. A lot of them start sleeping better and experiencing more energy and experiencing a better mood and less anxiety. It really changes how you feel quickly. They also tell me they enjoy eating this way a lot more than they thought. Still, it takes effort at first. It takes an investment of time and energy to eat differently. This is something we do 3 times a day. And everything changes once you really make this a priority and you make a firm decision. I'm doing this. I'm changing the way I eat. I'm ready for a change in my health and my energy and my mental clarity and my life. So can you see how these 7 pieces come together to allow you to finally achieve your desired results? So you change the way you eat enough to make a real difference. You get really clear about exactly what and how much to eat. You take the time to figure out what truly nutritious foods you truly enjoy, you know, what you're going to eat for breakfast, what you're going to eat for lunch, and what you're going to eat for dinner that you're really going to enjoy and look forward to. You make sure that you're getting plenty to eat and that you're eating in a way that you lose the hunger and cravings. And we talked in earlier videos about why previous approaches haven't worked, and we don't want any more approaches that fail. You know the approach you must absolutely avoid, the mistakes that you've been making, that most of us have been making when we've tried to lose weight, that you must absolutely avoid to finally have a different experience. And now you know the 7 steps to a vital, slender you, to getting slender and healthy for good. You have the blueprint. And now you may have questions or concerns about how you can apply this effectively in your life, because you want and deserve these health and life benefits. And you can go forth and do this on your own in a trial and error way like I did. It took me many years to figure out all the pieces and to make it work, but I achieved amazing results doing it on my own. And some of you may know you'll do better if you get classes and coaching and mentoring and support and learn very clearly just how to apply all this step by step in your own life. And I developed a program that does all of that. And as I make this video, I've just had some openings in my program as some of my happy clients have graduated, having learned a whole new way of eating and thinking and living that allows them to be happy and slender and as active as they want to be. So let me give you a high-level overview of some of the parts of the program. First is Slender University, and that's a series of lessons that teaches you all about transformative eating and how to make it work in your life, how to change mindsets, and how to adapt your environment so you can change how you eat for good. And I give my clients a very clear eating plan. That's the second part, and that allows them to release their excess weight because we're mostly not changing our eating enough. So when you get this very clear eating plan, you can see exactly how to eat to release your excess weight and regain great health and vitality. And each client individualizes their eating plan to fit their preferences. But the plan I give them provides great clarity and structure about how much of the different types of foods to eat to successfully achieve your goals. And the third part of my program is individual coaching and mentoring. And this really helps each client determine the best ways to apply all these principles in their own lives. And that's just a high-level overview of the Slender for Good program, which is so much more effective than the diets out there. The best way to learn more about this game-changing way of eating and the Slender for Good program, and to explore whether it's a fit for you, is to schedule a Slender Vital You breakthrough call. I made some appointment times available in my schedule, especially for people who are ready to make a real lasting change in their eating and their weight and their health. And the potential to transform your life is tremendous. I've had many people tell me that the breakthrough call is a transformative experience in itself. They've appreciated the opportunity to share their story of eating and weight loss attempts and how those have gone for them. And on that call, I'm generally able to give clear guidance on your most important next step. I think about Kathy. She's one person who did that call and just immediately took the guidance and ran with it. And she has seriously improved her health and dropped 17 pounds just from making the changes I recommended on the breakthrough call. And I don't charge for this call at all. It's a way I can help more people, and it also gives me a chance to figure out whether someone's a really good fit for my program. But of course, there are limited slots for the breakthrough calls, so book your call now. I want to ask you, is it your time? Is it time for you to make a real, lasting, important, kind of monumental change in your life? Because the potential here is truly awesome. So just click on the button below to schedule your own breakthrough call. And when you go to the scheduler, there is going to be a brief questionnaire, and that just helps us make the most of the call. So I hope this video series has been really helpful for you in clarifying what you actually need to do differently to achieve your goals with healthy eating and weight loss. And I believe you're going to find, like most of my clients have, that it's easier and more enjoyable to eat this way than you ever thought it was going to be. So book your breakthrough call. I really look forward to speaking with you.